Okay, so good day class. Today we are going to discuss students' distribution and identifying percentiles using T-table. So are you ready? So let's get started. Pero bago yun, let's try muna to identify if the following statement is true or false, or write yes if the statement is true about the Z distribution and no if it is not. So let's answer it orally na lang. Okay, let's try number 1. The Z distribution is a normal distribution with the mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. So yes or no? What is your answer? Okay, very good. That is true about Z distribution. How about number 2? The normal curve is a bell shape. True or not? Okay, this one is also true. How about number 3? The tails of the normal curve approach the vertical axis but never touch it. True or false? Or yes or no? Okay, this one is not true. Bakit? Kasi yung ina-approach ng tails ng normal curve natin is hindi vertical axis, kundi yung kanyang horizontal axis. Natatandaan pa ba? Okay, very good. Ang basic lang, diba? So, parang review lang to. So, let's proceed to number 4. The mean is always greater than either the median or the mode. Is this correct or not? Okay, very good. This is not true. Bakit? Kasi in a normal distribution, the mean, median, and mode are all equal. Naaalala pa ba? Number 5, the curve is symmetrical about its center. Is it true or not true? Yeah, very good. This is a correct statement. E paano naman tong number 6? The total area under the normal curve is always less than 1. Correct or not? Okay, this is not correct. Bakit? The total area under the normal curve is always 1 or 100%. Diba? Pag nagkamali pa naman kayo dito, patay kayo sa akin. Char. O, number 7. The mean, median, mode coincide at the center. True or false? Or yes or no? Okay, this one is also a correct statement. Number 8. The width of the normal curve depends on the standard deviation of the distribution. Okay, this one is correct, diba? Kapag malaki yung standard deviation, mas scattered yung data. So, mas wide or pa-flatten yung normal curve. Kapag naman siya ay maliit lang yung SD, dikit-dikit yung mga data, so mas matarik yung hugis ng ating normal curve. Yung number 9 naman, almost 99.7% of the distribution falls within 3 standard deviations from the mean. Correct or not? Okay, this one is true. Bakit? Kasi ito yung nasa ating empirical rule, yung 3 standard deviation, 99.7%. Number 10. The left tail of the normal curve is flatter than its right tail. Correct or not? Okay, this one is not true. Bakit? 'Di ba? Symmetrical daw dapat yung itsura ng ating normal curve. So, kung ibig sabihin ng left side natin ay flatter, so dapat ang right side din ay flatter. Pareho lang dapat. So, ayan. So, we are done now with our review. So, I think naman we can now proceed to our next topic. So, the learning objectives are the following. So, simulan na natin ang discussion sa students' T-distributions or T-test or T-distribution. The T-distribution is used in small samples taken from the population that is approximately normal. So, pag sinabi naman natin small samples, these are sample size na less than 30. Or when the population variance is unknown. It was developed by William C. Lee Gossett in 1908. So, ulitin ko lang, kapag T-distribution, ginagamit siya kapag less than 30 ang sample size at saka the population variance is unknown. Ang first property of T-distribution ay pareho lang sa normal distribution. Pareho silang bell-shaped at unimodal. Yun nga lang has a heavier tails ang ating T-distribution. Ang total area then under a T-distribution curve is 1 or 100%. Same with the normal distribution curve. So, ito yung example natin sa T-distribution. It is symmetric about T equals 0. Na ang ibig sabihin ay kung ano yung nasa left side ay same lang din kung ano yung nasa right side. Another property is the mean, median, and mode of the T-distribution are all equal to 0. Kapag SD naman, so ang standard deviation of the T-distribution varies with the sample size. It is always greater than 1. However, its variance is always greater than 1. So kung mas mataas yung ating variance, yung curve natin is mas wide. kesa sa standard normal distribution. Then, at the same time, ay mas flat yung ating curve. Ito naman yung formula natin para sa z-test at t-test. So, makikita nyo naman yung pinagkaiba nila. Sa c-test, may population standard deviation. Sa t-test naman, may sample standard deviation. So, ito yung gagamitin nating formula, yung t-test formula to get the test statistics. So, t is equal to x bar minus mu divided by s all over square root of n. Para makuha natin yung value sa table of critical values, kailangan natin i-adjust yung sample size natin by converting it to degrees of freedom gamit ang formula na df is equal to n minus 1. Pero kadalasan, hindi na natin kailangan mag-convert pa kung ang given naman na ay agad degrees of freedom na. Pero kung sample size, kailangan natin yun i-convert muna to degrees of freedom using the formula. Ang degrees of freedom is the number of independent values or quantities which can be assigned to a statistical distribution. As the degrees of freedom increase, the t-distribution curve looks more and more like the normal distribution. So, kung titingnan nyo, kapag tumataas yung df, mas lalong nagiging kawig ng t-distribution curve yung normal distribution curve. Kapag lesser yung degree of freedom, lower naman yung peak nito and thicker yung tail nito. Kapag naman increasing yung kanyang degree of freedom, yung tails ay flatter and yung peak is higher. So, eto yung examples of t-table. Sinundan ko kayo ng PDF na to, so tingnan nyo na lang yan kasi medyo maliit dito sa video. Etong nasa taas is yung areas in the right tail na naka one tail. So, then yung sa kabilang side naman, yung pa-vertical is the degrees of freedom, yung 1 to 1,000. Then yung area na nasa loob are the t-values. Halos parehas lang naman din tong gamitin sa z-table. So, ganun lang din. So, hindi na rin kayo masyadong mahihirapan pa. So, let's now proceed naman kay percentile. A percentile is a value on a t-distribution that is less than the probability in a given percentage. So, para mas maintindihan nyo, let's look at this example. So, illustrate 90th percentile of the t-distribution. So, ang given natin is yung percentile natin na 90% or 0.90. So, ipa-plot lang natin yan on the curve. So, ito yung ating 0.90. Tapos, dito naman sa kabilang side, yung ating alpha na 0.10. Para makuha si alpha, 1 minus the percentile. So, 1 minus 0.90 is 0.10. So, etong part na to, yan yung magiging part kung saan natin ilalagay si t-value. Let's proceed naman to example number 2. Find the 95th percentile of a distribution with 6 degrees of freedom. Ito naman may df na given. So, we can solve na the t-value. So, na-identify na natin yung given natin na percentile na 95% or 0.95 at degrees of freedom na 6 degrees na nakalagay naman dun sa ating problem. So, step 1 is illustrate the percentile and identify the value of the alpha. So, i-illustrate na natin yung ating mga given sa ating curve. So, dito natin ilalagay yung percentile. And then, sa other side naman is yung ating alpha. Yung alpha, nakuha natin by alpha is equal to 1 minus yung percentile na 0.95 is equal to 0.05. Then, dito naman ulit natin ilalagay ang ating test value na makukuha natin sa ating t-table. So, step 2 is use the t-table to compute for the t-value. So, ito yung t-table. So, parang pareho lang siya ng z-table gamitin. So, ito yung ating alpha na 0.5 o pwede din namang pagbasihan yung nasa taas niya, yung 0.95 na percentile. Tapos, dito naman sa side na to is makikita natin yung degrees of freedom natin na 6. So, parang sa z-table lang kung saan sila mag-meet, that would be the area or the t-value dito. So, the t-value na nakuha natin is 1.943. Ayan, so bali illustrate lang natin yung t-value dito sa ating curve na 1.943. So, therefore, the 95th percentile of a t-distribution with degrees of freedom of 6 is 1.943. Madali lang, diba? So, sobrang basic lang nito. So, let's try another example. So, example number 3. Find the 75th percentile of a t-distribution with 20 degrees of freedom. So, in-identify na natin yung mga given Percentile is 75% or 0.75 and degrees of freedom of 20. So, i-illustrate na natin yung percentile and identify the value of alpha sa ating curve. And let's proceed to step 2. So, here in step 2, gagamitin na natin ang ating t-table to compute for the t-values. So, ganun lang ulit, hanapin ang ating alpha at ang degrees of freedom at kung saan sila mag-meet, that would be the t-values. After that, i-illustrate lang natin ang nakuhang value sa ating curve. So, therefore, the 75th percentile of a t-distribution with degrees of freedom of 20 is 0.687. So, example number 4. Find the p percentile of a t-distribution with 6 degrees of freedom. So, step 1, illustrate the percentile and identify the value of the alpha. Kung mapapansin nyo dito, yung percentile natin is below 50, so that's why symmetric dapat ang ating position. So, kung meron sa kabila, meron din dapat sa other side. Step 2 is use the t-table to compute for the t-value. So, what is our t-value? Okay, very good. So, our t-value is 1.943. So, para lang makuha natin yung ating t-value sa percentile natin na 0.05, change lang natin yung sign. So, magiging negative 1.943. Okay, for our last example, find the 25th percentile of a t-distribution whose sample size is 20. So, ang given naman is sample size, hindi pa given ang degrees of freedom. Para makuha natin yung degrees of freedom, i-convert natin yung sample size na 20 sa degrees of freedom by using the formula df is equal to n minus 1. So, yung sample size na 20 minus 1, so ang ating degrees of freedom ay 19. So, dahil meron na tayong percentile at degrees of freedom, i-illustrate na natin siya ngayon sa ating curve. So, mapapansin nyo na less than 50 na naman ang ating percentile. So, gagamitin natin ang t-value ng alpha natin para makuha ang t-value ng ating 0.25 percentile. Change lang natin ng sign to negative. So, therefore, t is equal to 0.688 or negative 0.688. Basic lang naman, diba? So, kindly try this on your notebook. Okay, so here is the answer. Tingnan mo nga kung pareho tayo ng sagot. Ipareho, sobrang basic lang, 'di ba? So I'm sure na ready ka na to answer or practice exercises. Do it on your notebook. If you have questions or clarifications, don't hesitate to message me directly. If you understand it clearly, just comment #basic statistics. Thank you!